Hi everybody, I am Dustin Ritter. I'm going to be doing a live mural for you here today. Um, it's kind of an interesting process because normally I would do this with students and they would help me fill in the color, kind of like a life-size coloring book, but today I'm going to do it for you to show you how to do it. So we're going to get rolling here and I'll just start kind of explaining the steps. So I pre-sketched out this buffalo head from a friend's photo, gave me permission to use it, and basically normally I would do this with the students first and we would draw it together and I would walk them through the steps and then they would help me outline it in Sharpie. But today I thought I would do that on my own just to save us some time. So we're just going to go right into the coloring process. I'm going to use basically household items for the most part that you can find at your dollar store or Canadian Tire or an art store, wherever you have access to. So we got bingo dabbers, we got Sharpies, we got some cool paint markers. Basically, you can kind of use anything, but I find bingo dabbers are a really fast way to do a painting. So we'll just get started with that first. And we're going to start with the little teal bingo dabber here. And just start coloring in some of the buffalo's fur. And the fun part about doing these paintings is we usually have a large group of students doing them. So you end up with a lot of cool texture and lots of little happy accidents you weren't expecting that make the picture a lot more interesting. So you can see I'm not being particularly careful even. It's just a lot of fun to fill in the space. And the texture kind of makes it look like real hair, which I think is a cool way to do it. So just down the beard there. And we're not even really trying to fill it in the whole way, just to give it some color to get things rolling. There we go. So you can kind of use this process with anything. It doesn't have to be a buffalo. It doesn't have to be an animal. You can just pick a picture you like. You could sketch it out yourself, or you could, you could do it with you could print off an image. You could use a projector to trace it. We've done lots of murals like this. I really like drawing, so I find it a challenge to not trace anything, but that's not for everybody. So it's just a really fun way to make art. So fill in a little more about the eyes here. And one step I always tell the students, if you're just joining in and you don't know where to start, kind of follow the flow of the lines that are already there. So say for the nose, we just want vertical lines. Doesn't have to be, but that's just the theme we're going to go with right now. And we'll just stick with that. So if somebody else was to join in, I would just try to get them to go up and down so we're not fighting each other. There we go. Then we'll do some horizontal ones on the head just to fill in that space. So it's already kind of starting to look like something. I really like that teal color, so we're going to keep using it. All right, so that's the face for right now. So I'm going to give this one a break here. We're going to use my number one favorite bingo dabber, the coral dabber, which I got off Amazon. And basically we're just going to do some lines. I've kind of worn this one out, but I got a little bit left in there. So we're going to have some fun with it. So the whole reason I started doing these was just to try to get more people interested in doing art who tell me that they don't have any artistic ability. And my point that I'm trying to make with this is that you don't have to have artistic ability to make a cool art piece. You just really need to have the tools to do it and a little bit of direction. So you can tell already, I really like the contrast between like the cool blue color and then the warmer pink color for the background. I've done some other similar buffalo artwork that kind of followed the same theme, so I think I can do it easily just to show you guys today. There we go. So again, you can tell I'm not being super careful, just trying to stay in these lines. And basically what I would do for students I was working with is I'd fill in this space and then get them to fill in that area. And whether they wanted to do dots or lines, I'd kind of give them that little bit of freedom unless we picked out a theme beforehand. Today we're doing mostly lines, and then we'll probably do more dots once we fill in more of this space. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. All right, so we got a bit of a background already. So just for fun, I'm going to try this other blue bingo dabber. It's brand new, so you got to give it a couple dabs here just to get it going. You don't want to push too hard, but just like that. And so with this darker one, I'm going to start following my own lines that I've already pre-drawn. So for a student that's doing it, I just tell them they're like retracing it, or they're like the inker in a comic book. They're just following the lines that are already there just to give it a little more depth and texture. And I really think outlining, especially with a black Sharpie afterwards, that's my favorite part. And I think it's kind of the finishing last move you would do on the picture too. So this isn't coming out very good right now. So if it's not coming out really good, give it a couple dabs. Then you can smear it around a little bit. If you kind of dab and squeeze at the same time, you'll get lots coming out, which does lead to some dripping, but dripping sometimes looks really cool. So just depends what you want. So already you can kind of see a little bit of the outline happening. We'll draw in a couple lines here. This can be kind of a shading process too. There we go, that's starting off cool. And then we'll make some kind of wild looking hair up here. So another reason I started using bingo dabbers is because I'm actually not that great a painter. I really like drawing pictures, and I've painted in the past. I enjoy doing it, but I don't think it's something that is a real strength of mine. So using bingo dabbers is just like a really quick way to do some art. So hopefully in the span of this video, we can get most of this picture done. And I think a lot of the reasons, or a main reason, that people don't like doing art or don't like joining in is because they're afraid to start doing a picture on their own. And I think this is like a really good way to take away that fear for people who say they can't do art. Because I think you can obviously use a bingo dabber and, you know, can be as messy as I'm being right now, and it's really fun and relaxing. You wreck a lot of bingo dabbers, and that's okay because you can buy them for really cheap at the dollar store. Okay, so we got most of the buffalo filled in now, right? So I'm just trying out some new stuff that I bought today. Let's see if it looks cool. That's a little bit darker, so we can kind of use that maybe more near the outside of the canvas here. Just filling in some of the white space. There you go, that was kind of cool. Nice. So I can tell I'm having a lot of fun when I stop talking. So I'll try to keep telling you guys what I'm doing, but sometimes I just get really into it and I forget to talk. But that's okay. yeah, I think for myself, doing art is just like a nice way to kind of ground yourself. So if you're feeling a little stressed out or anxious, I know for myself, if I can sit down and like draw a picture or do something like this, I instantly feel more calm, which is something I'm sure most people like. Just feeling a quick, easy way to chill out, especially today. I had 2 coffees before I came, huge mistake. So just trying to find some chill. There we go. All right, that's already kind of looking cool. So, just for fun, I'll try one of these. I just discovered Posca paint markers, and they're the coolest thing. These are all old already. I've used them for wall murals and all sorts of stuff, so they're kind of mixed. Oh, that one's good. But you can paint on pretty much anything with these guys. And it's really bright and vibrant. And they're just the easiest paint markers I've ever used. So if you can find these anywhere, you can probably order them online too. There we go. So it's filling some yellow horns there. It's kind of starting to take shape now. For some reason, I'm looking at it now and I want my horns to be a little bigger. Those are kind of just fun decisions you can make as you do it. Might drip a little bit, that's okay. All right, I'm digging that. Okay, let's keep going. So I want to do a little more of the teal color here. I really like that one, and I'm going to run out of it pretty soon, so I kind of want to use it up as much as possible here. And I find, like, doing a quick portrait like this, you're going to have some colors smearing together, and you're going to get your hands dirty and all that stuff. But if you get some random colors on the portrait, that's okay. It just becomes part of the process. And I really do find the more accidents that happen, the more I like the finished process, because it's sometimes the accidents are the cool stuff that you didn't plan for, but that's the thing you remember about doing it, or the thing that you wouldn't expect to happen that just made it way cooler. Okay. So I really didn't think about what color I want the nose, but let's try that pink bingo dabber again here. We'll just fill in that space. And for projects like this too, I think bright colors just get people's attention. They make it more fun to do, more fun to look at. It's kind of like a surreal blue buffalo, something you wouldn't see in nature, but I'd like to see in nature. I think that was kind of cool. So just for fun, so I just kind of going with it. I'm going to add in some of this pink into the fur here, just because it's going to make kind of a cool purple color. That'll kind of look like shadows after. And this is always what I end up doing. I end up just kind of using whatever colors I have to kind of keep a cool theme going. So I'm just filling in the lines I've already drawn where I know there would be shadows and texture for the hair. Oh, spread a little yellow around there, so I'm just going to do it on the other side too. Alrighty, I really didn't want that to happen, but now that I did it, I think it looks really cool. So I'm probably going to do it in other spots too. And I find for myself, like, if you're doing art and you're not having fun, you need to change what you're doing, because this should be fun. It should be really easy and really fun. And I think it should be something that everyone has access to. And sometimes people just need a little bit of direction so they can finish a project that they want to show off to other people. Okay, that's starting to look cool. So just because we did yellow at the bottom, or at the top, I'm going to do a little bit at the bottom there. That kind of Makes a cool looking green color. There we go, that's good. All right, so I want to use a little more of this dark blue bingo dabber. Again, just kind of keep doing what I'm doing here, of making some places a little bit darker. I'm having trouble getting some out of this one. So you really gotta press. I'm gonna push the back of the canvas a little bit so I don't pop a hole in it. But basically, for these projects, you don't want to use bingo dabbers for like an outdoor mural, but you can use bingo dabbers on pretty much anything else that you're going to display indoors. Like you can put this on wood, you can put it on canvas, you know, dollar store canvas, expensive canvas. I've done it on material canvas. It really absorbs well into that. We've done them on just regular walls, paper. Funnily enough, I've never played bingo with them. I just only use them for art purposes. Maybe bingo would be fun. I should try it. Got a little bit of white here around the eyes. I'm going to fill in a little more. Just kind of pressing the back of the canvas here to get a little more out. A little more shade down on the side of the face here. Okay, that's looking cool. I'm gonna make his beard a little darker because I like the look of that. A little shadow under his chin there. And I'll use a little blue down there, maybe to fill in a bit of the nostrils too. Yeah, that's good. And then I want to fill in some more color on the body here, so I'm going to try to do this. Just kind of pushing the back of the canvas there, again to get more of the bingo dabber out. Yeah, you can pretty much use anything to do a picture like this. I recommend bingo dabbers and Sharpies, paint markers, but like you could use crayons, pencil crayons. I've used glitter markers before in the past. Dry erase markers seem to work. I kind of like to use whatever we can find just to prove you can kind of make art anywhere you go. Okay, a couple more lines on the forehead. Then we could probably even start outlining here. Okay, so I'm really liking the colors so far. We're not done yet, but I think the most important step, I don't always leave it to the end. I like to outline throughout the picture because that's how much I love outlining. I just bought these Sharpies today. We'll see if they work. To be honest, they are not great. But that's okay, because we want this to look kind of like real hair is what we're going for. So I like to do kind of just jagged edges. Again, we're not trying to be too careful with what we're doing here. And once you start outlining, especially in black, then all your colors really start popping a lot more. There we go. So that's kind of a cool start already. I'm just going to work my way around. Again, because it's still wet, you're going to smear some colors. And I think that's just kind of fun. I feel like there'd be a shadow here. So that would be kind of where his skull is, I think. So fill that a little bit. So more under the horn by the eye. I'll make the lines for the horn a little more smooth than I did the hair. One thing I find is you can never have enough black Sharpies. I find the black Posca markers work really good, but I've basically worn those out, and I should have bought more. There we go. Okay, so do the same thing to the other side just to keep it nice and symmetrical here. Hopefully this is as relaxing to watch as it is to do. Because I find, especially in this setting, I feel very calm. I find it really easy to breathe. It's just an overall really good experience. It's cool. I'm going to come do some lines of hair. I'm going to make this go a little further out because I just really like the way that black looks. So we'll make the hair a little bit longer on the face. And again, I can't stress enough, have fun with it. It doesn't matter what your lines look like for this part of the process. That's why I really like doing animal hair. Because I'm not being careful, I can just kind of move my hand as I want to. Ear. Do a little bit outlining the beard down here. And if it doesn't look perfect right now, it's just a layer. You're going to go over top of this stuff after anyway. So right now we're still just filling the space. We want the colors to be eye-catching, but we're not going for perfection yet. I just want both sides of his face to be kind of even. So I think the face is the main focal point of what we're doing here. So we want it to be kind of pleasing to the eye. Just like that. This side's a little better than the right side right now. So I might have to get another marker out here right away because this one's kind of dying on me, but that's okay. Go around the nose a little bit. Down by the mouth there, you want that to be a kind of a thicker, stronger line. There we go. So outlining the mouth a little bit. A little more here. A couple lines in the beard just for some texture. Again, they're not perfect. We're just kind of having fun. We'll do some more lines going up the side of his face. So I've done pictures like this that upwards of like 60 people have helped me finish, and they've taken over, we'll say 2 to 3 weeks, where I'll just take them to different locations and let different groups of people work on them, different levels of development, different ages, different skill levels, different backgrounds, and it seems to be a really cool way to connect people and have everyone join in on a similar project. And you always get people who don't really want to participate, and most of the time you can convince them to just give it a shot. And especially by using like pointillism, making little tiny dots all over this buffalo or in the background. People who aren't confident in making art can find a way just to join in, and then they can kind of take ownership of what they're doing. And I think that's really cool because it makes the piece a little more interesting, you know, knowing that I didn't do the whole thing, but I got to start it. And it's really cool just to know how many people joined in, and it led to a lot of like fun conversations and just a really good experience usually. Like today I can feel it's kind of starting to spit a little bit, and I'm really not worried because if it rained right now, it might look really cool. You know, like you just kind of got to let things happen, and it's something you can work with or you can fix it after. I'm not super attached to it right now, but I like it enough to keep going. And I have a feeling that when it's done, I'll probably want to hang it up in my basement. So I'm just kind of following some of the lines I drew already. I always like making the lines a little more bold. And then sometimes just make some new lines to make it even. So it's starting to look cool. Sometimes what I like to do is I'll grab like a blue paint marker. These ones I think I got at some big art store. And it's kind of worn out, but you can kind of see it's making a little bit of texture there. And it's always kind of fun because I've already mapped out the colors that I want. So if somebody were to join in right now, I could just say, put more blue on the blue. You know, it's very easy to give direction. But just for fun, let's see if this works at all. I don't know if this one works, but let's throw some green in there. Again, this green marker's kind of dying on me, but I find I'm kind of an aggressive painter where even if it's dying, I'll still try to get a little bit of texture out of it. There we go. Yeah, I think that one's toast. Let's find another one. Nice, there we go. That one looks a little better, and we're getting kind of a cool neon green out of it. Put a little more up here. And it's just fun. I have no real plan here, but to add in more bright, eye-catching colors and make the texture look as much like hair, but we're not really going for realism here. Put it here. Maybe do a little outline of the eye just for fun. Okay, that's cool. And again, I always say it, every project we do is like, if you're doing something that somebody's already started working on, try to just go with their flow. You know, somebody's already started it. They maybe had an idea of what they wanted. And if you're just joining in, kind of follow what they did, and you'll usually end up with something really cool. Let's add a little more. Yeah, it's starting to look really cool. Let's keep going. So I really like, again, the coral bingo dabber. So just for fun, I'm going to try to use up what I've got left of this. Just do some more cool horizontal lines here. Because it's fun. You can use colors that you like. I always tell the kids, like, pick your favorite color, go with that. You don't have to do a buffalo, you don't have to do animal, you could do shapes, you could do something abstract. Just pick something very simple. I think the key is to not let yourself be intimidated by what you're doing. You just have to go for it. If it doesn't turn out right away, you're not done yet. Keep going. Sorry, you like that color more. And so much that I'm going to even add some on the buffalo. Because why not? There's no rules. We can do whatever we want here. Sometimes I'll get students to grab paper towel and wipe off some of the bingo dabber, and that makes it look really cool and also helps it dry quicker. So I'll add some of that in. And just for fun, I'm going to put a little bit in the eyes. I don't know if that'll be cool or not. We can always cover it up with a Sharpie after. Oh, that's kind of freaky. We'll see how I feel about that later. But normally, I try not to finish something in one session because I really like coming back to it, you know, hours or days or weeks later and doing the final touches then. I'm going to do a little more to this one, but for time restrictions, we're just going to kind of do as much as we can, and then I'll post a finished picture of it after. So I like that background color a lot. I've got this Sharpie here. I want to do some white highlights. That's what I wanted to do. Sometimes the hardest part is finding what you need when you need it. So just for fun, let's touch up the eyes a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a white line there on the sides. That looks kind of cool. I think this kind of turned more red than I wanted it to, so I might cover over it with black again, but for stuff like this, it's just cool to try it. Let's do a little highlight on the horns. Lots of time, the funnest conversations you have are just letting people try things. Someone has an idea, and I'll usually say, go for it, you know, depending on the idea. But for the most part, if you try it and it doesn't work, you can paint over it. It's just paint, it doesn't matter. It's just really a fun process to try stuff. There we go, so add a little white and that kind of makes it stand out. I'm going to give him a little bit of white for reflection on his nose here. Just do that for fun. Couple down here, my white's starting to die on me, but that's okay. Okay, so let's try a little more blue. I really like the teal, so I want to finish it off with that. Kind of push out as much as I can get onto the canvas now. So I just want to thank SLA, the Saskatchewan Library Association, for letting me do this, and SaskTel. This has been a really cool experience, and my crew, Leslie and Rose, we're picking an awesome spot. And I'm just so relaxed while we're doing this. It has been awesome. Okay, that's really looking cool. Sometimes you just find certain colors that you're drawn to, and it just makes everything turn out cooler when you add a little more. So it's already starting to look like, I don't know how to describe it, like more of an electric neon color. I think that catches people's attention. Which is kind of what you're going for, right? If you're making art, you do want people to see it. So pick subject matter you like. You'll probably do a better job of it. Pick colors you like. I think that's how you develop your own style in the long run. I used to only do pencil drawings, and then I started doing this, and now I can't stop doing bingo dabber paintings. It's like a weird obsession now. A little more there. Okay, so I'm gonna finish off this blue bingo dabber. We're going to try to do one more outline and we'll wrap it up. So like I said, I like to outline in black multiple times throughout the process because you want it to look really sharp. I think the black brings out the color, and I just really love outlining. I think it's the part of me that really likes drawing. Just feels that that's like a good way to kind of complete the whole project. So let's just do the really important parts here. I added some pink to the eyes, but I don't love it. It kind of turned red. So I'm gonna fill in a little bit of that with some black. And that's okay. Sometimes you try some stuff you don't like. I'll leave a little bit of red in the corner of his eye. Yeah, I like that more already. So let's make those lines above his eye more defined. This is really the step that I find really brings it to life. I think that's why I enjoy it so much. And again, I probably will work on this like 1 or 2 more times, just to make sure I'm happy with it. But like I said, we're not really going for perfection. This one's more about feel and having fun, getting other people excited about art and getting involved. Because I think art is definitely something that everyone could use in their lives. Everyone needs to relax a little bit. It's a cool thing to do as a social experiment, to do art with a group of people, or if you need some alone time. I love it for both reasons. There we go, the mouth is looking cooler now. Let's do some lines on the side of the face, because that kind of got blurred out with my last little bit of blue. Alright, let's finish up with this black here. I'll call it a day. And again, my black marker is kind of dying on me. But sometimes using markers that are at the end of their lifespan allows you to just add in a little bit of shade, which is cool. Or even sometimes I'll take a paintbrush to this after, just to mix some of the colors together, do a little bit of blending. You can always go over top with acrylic paint after. I think I really like starting projects with paint markers and bingo dabbers because it's just an easy way to start. You don't have to overthink it. Just pick the colors you want and go. And I feel like people overthink starting too much, and that's what scares them away from attempting it. So let's just finish this up here. Do a little more work on the top of the head. But I'm really, really liking how this turned out. I'm surprised we got so much done in this amount of time. I think at this point I've done something like 400 portraits, so I'm kind of getting my process down where I can do it quicker than I ever really thought I could, which is fun because I think it makes you want to do more once you see a finished project that you really like. Okay, we're really close now. Like I said, I'll finish this at home and then post the picture after. Let's just end it with that. Cool.